Hey guys,
Hi.
gotta say, I've been a die-hard fan ever since the pilot episode. I was actually 13 when I started watching it. To be honest, Jillian was the reason why I watched the show.
Calm down. Calm down.
Loved how throughout the years your guys' characters have developed and grown. What I'd like to ask each of you is, what's your favorite, like, Skinner episode, Scully episode, Doghead episode?
Well, there weren't a whole lot of Skinner episodes, so it's like, and I have to be quite honest, the episodes that were my
What was
favorite.
the one where you took off your shirt?
I can't remember.
Oh, fuck off.
I can't. What was it? Was it?
Is it tattooed on your ass somewhere?
No, I can't remember.
I'm really screwed today.
I just remember that there was one at one point when we were rehearsing that, when I was walking around with my shirt off, I put a bra on, and Rob Bowman was directing, and his younger brother was there, and from what I understand, I traumatized him, and to this day, it's still bothering him. But
How long did you work out, like, extra time in the gym before you had to do that?
I worked out every day that I was on the X-Files, just anticipating having to take my shirt off. And I still do that because I'm just waiting on Dallas for them to tell me to take my shirt off, and I'm going to be ready.
Did anyone else want to take a crack at that?
I'm notoriously, my favorite episode is Bad Blood. It's not a Scully episode, but I just find it so funny.
It was hilarious. It was so funny.
I love that episode.
I loved it when you threw water in my face.
Oh, I like that
First
too.
episode.
Right
That
off the
was
bat.
my
Right off the
favorite
bat.
episode.
I enjoyed that too.
We did that in one take.
Did we?
At least I thought so. And then there was another take. Kim
she
Manners
started
said, we're gonna start it right off with that. And all right. Got to do it again. It was fun though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was nervous.
I'm sure you were.
I was really nervous.
Yeah. I
get
understand.
nervous around you anyway, so it's hard to
I'm
work
very
with you.
intimidating.
It's hard to work with you.
Why don't we
always
go over
nervous.
Hi, Terminator, you're the best. I know I saw you yesterday, and you walked by. I think I realized after with you and Linda Hamilton, so I just want to say hi. And Jillian, you're just as beautiful as ever. I can't wait to see you in Hannibal. Do you like younger men? I love you. You got a potty mouth. My wife's not here. Do you want a drink? No, that's kind of rhetorical.
Wait. Can you repeat that? What was the last bit?
My wife's not here. Do you want to go and have a drink? I know that's rhetorical. And it's Mitch, right?
Mitch. It's Mitch. Mitch, the bitch, Pileggi.
Senior in X-Files and Stargate, you're spaceship captain, and
Captain Kirk. That was my Captain Kirk moment, and I had so much fun.
You played it well. And Sons of Anarchy, you played a little bit greasier character. So
you.
I was just wondering, between like the three, those are the ones I've seen you in anyway. Can you describe how you feel about the different characters, and what was your favorite?
Out of was X-Files in there?
Yeah.
X-Files would have been my favorite, and it was very. I mean, the characters were all very. I mean, I guess Caldwell on Stargate was similar to thank you to Skinner and Supernatural. I spent the whole time trying to figure out what I was doing, why Samuel was back, and why whatever. And Sons of Anarchy was it's a great cast. It's a great group of people. Brilliant writing. The character was brutal, and some of the dialogue that I had to say was a little tough because of the racist aspect of playing a white supremacist. But yeah, so I mean, X-Files absolutely is closest to my heart. Always will be.
Can I follow up? Can I go through puberty on stage in front of 20,000 people? I read something. I was wondering if you could tell me it was true about the audition process for X-Files. That you had auditioned for smaller, like one-off characters unsuccessfully until you came back and were vaguely irritated to be back. and somehow that irritation being there fed into the
Was
Skinner
exactly
role.
what Chris wanted. I had auditioned for the role twice, and at the time my head was shaved, and Chris thought it was too extreme for the X-Files. So anyway, I grew my hair back, all of it, and went in and read for Skinner. And at the point, my agent said, they want to see you again, and I said, you know what, I've read for him twice. He knows what I can do. If he wants to hire me, he can hire me. And so I said, no, I don't want to go in. And so my agent talked me into going in, and I finally went in. And I walked in, and I was pretty surly and PO'd, and I think I walked right. Chris put his hand out, and I think I just walked right by him. And I said, okay, let's do it. And so we did the scene, and I said, anything different? Then he said, no, it was great. And I said, are you sure? And he goes, no, it was perfect. I said, are you sure? And that's exactly what he wanted for Skinner, that attitude. And I think I'm very fortunate that he didn't cast me in either of the first two roles that I auditioned for, because I would not have had the opportunity to play this wonderful role that I got to play of Skinner. Thank you. But yeah, that did happen. It's a true story. Yeah.
All right, why don't we go up
I wouldn't
top?
tell
Wait,
Chris
before-
about it. I wouldn't say that to Chris, but
How are we doing on time? I don't know if it's because I'm blind, but someone's supposed to be over here flagging me. We're all good? Okay. Up there, please.
Hi there. I've
Hi.
been a huge fan. I started watching when I was really little, far too young to probably should have been started watching. So I was really scared by the X-Files a lot. There were a lot of scary
Good.
episodes for me. And I'm just wondering, what were some of your most scariest episodes, or the ones that scared you the most?
Something scary.
Were you ever personally
again,
scared?
We talked about Home. Home is one of the freakiest ones I think we did.
one of the moments that scared me the most was going on set when Chris was directing an episode, and I couldn't remember my lines, and he was getting really irritated. And I was like, I'm so sorry, Chris.
Man,
The
you got a
surly attitude was
complicated
gone.
relationship with Chris
Oh,
Carter.
don't we all?
Kid. So. Good. Yeah, good.
Okay.
I got one. I think it was called Demoniscus or something. Demon something or other. I can't remember.
BG.
I can't remember.
BG Mermaid.
I can't remember the goddamn title. Pardon me. But it was the one we were shooting when 9/11 happened, and it was about a demonic.
Thing. Being.
Demonic
Guy?
possession of a body. A guy was demon. He had a demon. It was weird. It was evil. It was an evil episode to be shooting. Demonic possession. An evil episode to be shooting during 9/11. I found it very dark, and it was just too ironic. It was weird. I didn't like it. No, I'm being very sincere.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny.
It's not
For
funny.
real.
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
It's not funny, John Duggan.
Can I ask all of you, or any of you? Obviously, X-Files has a incredibly long, complicated, plot-heavy, intense story to get through. Did you need to be prepped occasionally at different parts of the series? Like, wait, who is this guy again? Part of what conspiracy?
No, we didn't give a crap by then.
Everything was a self-contained moment. Like you had what you needed
we
within the
had
script.
no time. There was no time. It was no time to know anything. There was only time, barely, to memorize lines and try and figure out. At the beginning, I was researching everything and looking up every word and all this kind of stuff. And then there was a certain point where I just not anymore.
It was just a matter of trying. As people ask me, they go, "Well, during this scene, what were you thinking?" Because it looked like there was so much going on in your head. And I said, I was trying to remember my lines, and that was a lot of what my characterization was. too. I was
Most of
trying
the
to
time,
remember lines.
if the intention is right in a scene,
Right.
and you're a decent enough actor, you can get people to believe what you're doing.
Oh, we want to believe. Huh? Oh, sorry.
Good one.
Yeah. Sorry.
Do you remember? Do you remember that when Chris put himself in that scene with us?
At the
the
boardroom
table,
table.
at the
First
table.
season, right?
Is that right? Chris put himself in a scene with Jill and I, and it was funny because he had written a certain number of lines for himself, and as we progressed through shooting it, he was really having a hard time getting the dialogue out. So he would keep cutting his lines as with each take, and to the point where I think he ended up saying like one word. It was like after every take, Jillian and I would kind of look at each other and just kind of like, it was like we were really stifling laughter. But he was so nervous. It was so nervous, doing it.
I watched that episode in prepping, and like he's at the end of a table, and he just says something like pissy, like, "Isn't this the file you were supposed to debunk?" or something like that. Yeah, he was awful.
he even cut his hair. He even cut his hair for that.
I mean, he's one of my favorite show of all time. But that line I had to laugh about because there you go, validation. I'm right about one thing today. Okay, I'm gonna go right here. We got 10 more minutes for questions, and then Jillian's gonna auction off that script. So.
I just want to say hi and thank you for coming to my hometown.
She's a little bit starstruck right now, so we've actually got a bit of an obscure question for Mitch. You did voice work a while back for Planescape Torment, and we were just looking to ask about that experience, what you thought about it, and if you'd be willing to do voice work in gaming in the future.
What was the name of it?
Planescape Torment.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I don't remember it. I remember doing, and I see it. It's on my IMDb that I did this, and I'm like, I just can't remember it. Was I good? Was I okay? Okay, good. I don't know. Sorry.
Let me just jump in with another question. For Robert, did it help you as an actor? Did you do this? Did you even go through this process? Did you say to yourself, what does Doggett think of Mulder? I mean, we know that he was loyal. We know he came to believe things. But I would think that if those two guys just met in a bar, not in a work situation, Mulder would not be his kind of guy.
Okay.
But but more important than what I think is wondering what you think. And if you, maybe as an actor, which I'm not, you don't even make those kind of decisions. It's not helpful.
I mean, I don't remember. It's a long time ago when we did that. I think I, from an actor point of view, I was just like, there's this guy. He's known in the FBI. He's a guy that believes in the UFOs and all the paranormal stuff, and I don't believe in it. And I got to try to find him, and I got to talk to her to try to get some info. And I don't. I guess I approached him as he's a bit crazy.
Right.
I don't know if he'd be that's how I looked at it.
Yeah, and I guess it's very rare that someone could come in so later and be so successful. So I was just spending a lot of time trying to figure out why, and I think it was just because it was everything you wouldn't expect. You were in no way a sequel to that character. You were almost antithetical.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, it worked for me. How about a big hand for the undaunted task of coming in the final seasons and making the show better, reinvigorating
Thank
it.
you.
The show killer.
Okay.
Can I just ask a question? All y'all people that just kind of filled up the middle section late, where are you coming from?
Where you been?
For
What's
the
going
next
on?
show.
Why don't we go right?
Where, what?
Wherever you want. Which one? In blue?
What?
All right. Pick right here in blue. Right here in blue.
We did a strip at the beginning of the piece.
Okay.
You missed it.
Over here. Like they're saying. We'll do both. We'll go here and
There
here.
was a pole right in the middle of
We were pole dancing. You missed it. It was great. We were wonderful.
Oh, come here. Wait, can you see our little questioner? He looks to be about 3 or 5.
Hey, buddy, how you
4,
doing?
3.
Julian Allison, did you have a dog?
What is it?
He said, Gillian Anderson, do you have a dog? You
That's
know,
better than all my questions.
buddy, I don't have a dog. I used to have a dog. What? Oh, Queequeg. You want to know about Queequeg? No, Queequeg died, sweetie.
Got eaten.
Queequeg got eaten by a crocodile. Am I right? Okay. Sorry.
Samantha got eaten by a crocodile.
Yeah.
Poor child.
got really
Sorry,
dark.
But it
honey.
was just pretend. It was just pretend.
But there are no crocodiles in Calgary.
All right, why don't we
Don't
go
worry.
over here?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I have a question for Mitch. So I heard when John Doggett was brought onto the show that you were a bit of a bitch when it came to the call sheet. He was supposed to be number 3, and you had him bumped down to number 4. Is this true?
I'm sorry. I'm not familiar. Do you have any recollection of this? Did you plant that? Did you plant that? Okay, you want an answer to that? You want an answer? You want to know the truth? You're an asshole.
I think I've pretty much proven that today. Yes.
Oh, God. That's why you...
Yeah, no, it was a big joke. It was just, I was kidding.
So
Didn't
was
happen.
I, Mitch.
Never happened.
So was I.
Never happened.
Let's go up top.
Sit down.
Hi, this is a question for Robert. I wanted to know about the emotions you had as a professional being parachuted into the show. It's a mega successful show. The company went off to be a big movie star, and you're coming in. Were you worried about the show failing, or were you totally cool and thought the show would be a success anyway? You could handle it.
That's from up here, and I guess the question is basically any fears you had coming into an existing, just what we were talking about before. The
Yes,
daunting
I was
task.
in all seriousness, and I haven't been very serious today, I was very nervous about coming in. And I wasn't familiar with the internet, and apparently people were very against it and really kind of hated me and the character and the idea of a new guy. And that was interesting. But I think that we proved, and Chris Carter worked really, really hard at introducing a new character, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it for the 2 short years we had.
I'd like to say when Robert came on the show, he brought this great energy because we'd been doing the show for 7 seasons, and at a certain point you kind of start to flag. But he came in with this great energy, this great attitude, and it was the first time that I talked to him, I was like, this is great having this guy here because he's really ready to his saying was, bring it. And after we finished, we brought it because he really brought a lot to us and helped carry us through the last 2 seasons.
I forgot about that. I forgot about the positive energy you brought to us. You really did. You lifted our set in a really good way at a time when it could have been, not.
Even though he was number 4 on the call sheet.
All right, I think we have time for 1, maybe 2 more. Why don't we go?
Thank you both.
Here.
Thank you. Hi. We already talked about what you all thought was the scariest episode of the show. So maybe we can look at what you thought was the funniest episode. In my opinion, Small Potatoes was by far the funniest episode ever. It was the shapeshifter episode where the guy's so infatuated with Scully that he takes on Mulder's appearance. And it's also an episode where it's the closest that Mulder and Scully come to kissing. What do you all think was the funniest episode of the X-Files?
Did Darren Morgan write that? I think Darren Morgan wrote our funniest episodes. The guy's just a comedic genius, and I don't know if he knows it or not, but he wrote some wonderful stuff. I thought
Bad Blood.
I thought Bad Blood was hilarious because of the Rashomon aspect of it, the way that they saw the stories completely differently, and her description of Wilson's character and
Luke Wilson, yeah.
I mean, they completely saw it different. It was the back and forth between the two of them was absolutely hilarious.
Hilarious.
Yeah, and the little pizza guy that was. Remember the pizza guy that was?
Yeah.
He was so funny.
It was funny.
But I think yeah. I don't know what I don't know what I meant by that, but.
All right, I think we got a last question. Wait, is there anyone there? Oh, it's the 2 red shirts. I was thrown.
Nope.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, so it's me. I get the last question. This is awesome. Hi. I guess I'd like to start by saying that my favorite episode is probably In the Field Where I Died. I don't think that one's been mentioned today, and I think it deserves some credit. So I think a lot of times.
Darren Morgan's wife was in that. They met.
The other Glenn Morgan's wife.
Glenn
was,
Morgan's
Glenn
wife. Did
Morgan's
Glenn
wife
write
was-
that script? He probably must have.
Probably,
Yeah.
since his
Okay.
wife
Yeah.
was in it,
So
yeah.
anyway, it's boring.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thanks for interrupting me.
I remembered something, and I'm like, I got something.
Oh, are you still there? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I think on TV, a lot of times we see a lot of difficulty trying to write strong female characters. But Dana Scully, I think, was really well written and with a deep sense of affection. I think we all really felt very close to her. Yeah, some people more than others, apparently. And so I'd like to ask what you all think Dana Scully's legacy was for female characters that have come after her on television.
I am amazed at how full this auditorium is, and this is the last question. It's such a shame.
We're doing the auction, so don't go away.
I mean, from what I understand, at the time, I mean, I've never been a big TV watcher, but from my understanding of the impact that the series had on popular culture and how women were portrayed on TV, the difference between who Scully is and who was on TV at the time was so radical that it was so extreme. And since then, and as a result of her character, there's been, first of all, there were a lot of different TV series that tried to emulate the relationship between a male and a female having a duo in a way that hadn't really been done since before our series. Oh my God, I can't talk. And so there was that, but also, since then there are so many strong women on TV, and not that they all, come from that, but it certainly started a very positive and fortunate trend, I think, in TV, and just having, women with brains and independent female characters on TV. That's all I got to say.
Okay, so we're going to do the auction now, but before we go, why don't we thank Robert Patrick, Gillian Anderson, and Mitch Pileggi for being here today. Thank you very much.
So there is this the script. It's Requiem. It's from the 7th season, episode number 22, and there's not many scripts out there that have been signed by so many of us. It's signed by me, David, Chris, Mitch, and Robert, and so I'm just wondering if there's anybody out there who might be interested in bidding for it. Is that something that's of interest to people? Okay, all right.
I bid $100.
Okay, 150. Is somebody going to help on the floor with this?
500.
500, okay.
500 right here.
Anybody go above 500? Just yell out what you want. Can anybody go to 550? What? What? Anybody go to 550?
550.
550. Anybody go to 600? Come on, it's like signed by all of us. Mostly, some of us.
It's for a really good cause.
Yeah, it's for a really good cause. So I think we're at 550. Can anybody go up to 600?
Where?
Yeah? Was that no?
You just got goosed.
Yes, we got a 600. Do I hear 650? 650? Anybody? 650? 650. $650. Requiem, 7th season. Signed by God. So I think we're at 650. Is that it? Going once, going twice at 650 somewhere in the back. Oh, what do we got?
Yeah.
How much? 7? 7. Okay, we got 7. We got
Good
7.
man,
The script
good man.
signed by God and us. $700. Anybody want to go above 7? Anybody go above $700? Requiem, 7th season. Yeah, what's that, 750? Or 8? Sorry, did I hear 8? No.
I thought I heard 1,000.
Is that 750 from the, say yes or no? 750? Okay, if not, I'm going to go back to 7. Oh my God, what is wrong? Is that, can you say the word yes? I'm really confused. I'm confused. Okay, we're at $700 for the handsome man in the gray sweatshirt. $700. Anybody for more than $700? Anybody for 750? Anybody for 750? Signed by God and some of the members of the X-Files. No, I think we're at 700. Going once. Going twice. Oh.
Yes?
Is that 750?
750.
Woohoo!
Good man.
750. Okay. 750 and a kiss. Anybody want to go above 750? If nobody bids, I'm going to be really embarrassed. 800. Okay, 800 for the script and a kiss.
Here comes
But
Mitch.
the kiss is with me. I'll throw in a kiss too. He's not a guy.
Anybody want to go higher than 800 for a script signed by God, the X-Files cast, and a kiss? No? Okay. It's 800. Sounds like 800. That's pretty good. $800. Okay. Come on up.
Does he have to have 8 seats on him right now?
Way to go, Jill.
Off stage. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless
Where's
Calgary.
Gary?
Thank you very much.
You
All right. Oh, this is in public. Oh, everyone should see this. Bam! Thank you so much.